Influence here. Thank you for joining me. And yes, this is Lego. This is the Soundwave by Lego. It's officially licensed by Transformers, Hasbro. It is probably one of their most ambitious transforming figures and one of their best. They're better for it. Has sound. Doesn't have lights. I was hoping it does, but there are light kits. I started to get a light kit because usually if I put a light kit in Legos, I do it while I'm building it, because a lot of times you got to take stuff apart and all of that, and I don't want to do that. Just talking about this figure, it took me about 6 hours to build it, give or take, a little bit more probably. I'm not a novice Lego builder, but I'm also wouldn't consider myself an expert. I've done the Optimus Prime, I've done Bumblebee, I've done Voltron and the DeLorean, and a couple odd figures here and there. I wouldn't consider myself a Lego collector. If you are that, this is like a great figure. Comes with 2 of his tape minions. Ravage, you see him watching his back, and Laserbeak in the front. I think Laserbeak is definitely pulled off a lot better than Ravage. Even though Ravage don't look terrible for a Lego figure, but it is just not pulled off well. All of them transform. They tapes fit inside. Like I said, there's sound. You see the guns. So let's just get into this review.
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe. I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
So much here. I'm gonna do this almost as a Transformers review. I must talk about everything, all the issues, but I'm gonna talk about the building process as well. We can get his face up close and personal so you can see what it looks like. I think it's great. I think it's better than Optimus Prime's face. I think they got the essence of Soundwave better than they did Optimus. And I know there's fan builds and fans come up with different this is one of the gripes I have. The wrist isn't that strong for this gun. But as I was saying, there's fan modes, I'm sure fans probably come up with something even closer. However, I think this is a good figure. And I like the fact that you can change out this red and turn it to yellow, because depending on what continuity, you know, in the beginning, I think he had red eyes, or the toy had red eyes, or yellow eyes on the toy and red eyes in the show. It was something like that, but I don't know exactly. But yeah, you have that. You have the tapes, or the tape deck that opens. The tapes do go into the tape deck. We'll talk about that. I'm gonna talk about them as accessories. So the first accessory is this gun here. Of course, this is Lego, so you had to build everything, and it's nice. It's nice looking. I love the way they did that. They got it like this, almost like looking like the battery, and it can store in tape deck mode. So you have that. You have this, which his hand just keeps coming off. It's all right though. We know that happens. It is Legos. I will be being delicate if you notice. So you have this as well. Of course, you got to build it. Again, I'm going to stop saying that, because anybody that knows Legos knows everything is built. So you have that. You have his board that all of them come with, that give you their tech specs and a little bit of stuff. You also have this little figure. You didn't have to build this, but it's built. So I thought it was just stuck together. But you could take all this stuff apart if you wanted to. If you wanted to use these parts for something, you could. And it's also cool because you can put this tape on there, and this is Laserbeak. But they also include a tape that's Ravage, so you can put that on there if you want it to look like Ravage is in the middle. And you have these things here where you can store this if you want, or you can put other stuff. You can put weapons on there or whatever. So that's dope. You get this big thick book. I love the artwork. It has a lot of, there's a Lego Builder app too. I'm not sure how new that is. I've never seen it before, but it's very helpful. There's a couple places, if people know when they put together Legos, let me just open up a page and see. So if you're looking at, like, say this, and you're trying to figure out, it's just pointing to put this piece on. Now, if you're not new to Lego, you know that it's putting it on this thing right here. But if you're brand new to Lego, you might not know that this piece goes there. So in the Lego Builder app, you can actually flip that around and see exactly what's going on. So I did do that a couple times with a couple pieces, just to be certain. I had no run-ins, no troubles, no missing pieces, and I didn't build anything wrong the first time. So that's an accomplishment for me. And the box is nice, Lego box. They even have the little lamppost mode, I guess. I think it's just saying in between, you know, but because it really says it's 2 modes. And the sound brick, Laserbeak, is really nice. Has his guns on his back. Looks good. Let me do his head. Articulation is like that. He has a 2-pronged neck. His wings you can move. His feet can go like this. And you can take these guns off. And let's transform him real quick. All you have to do is swing this back, swing the head back, swing this up here like that, swing this up here like that, and then push the legs up, and now he's a tape. Push the eject button. He does go in, Ravage goes in a little better than him, and you may have to turn it upside down, but I have it right. So stick it in, you see. For the rest of the review, I'll leave him in. And then you have Ravage here. Similar, take his guns off. They just go on those sides. And flip his tail, flip his head in. Flip these parts up like that. And then this goes in, which way? Let me see. Like this. So flip these first. That's what you gotta do. That's proper. And that's falling apart. Ravage does fall apart a little bit. So make sure these are straight, because his legs, I didn't really show his articulation, but he has the legs that go like this. And that's front and back leg. He has a tail. It goes out and his head just goes up and down. And you can see his face, and he has a symbol right there. Like I said, I don't think this is as successful as Laserbeak, but what you're gonna do, then you just push these up in here like that. Just tuck these feet. This is similar, tuck the feet. Feet don't really tuck like you would think, so they just fit in that little space there and kind of fill in so you can't see the back. And there so he does have the voice box. Now it says a whole bunch of things. I don't even know if I went through them all. It was like 5 minutes getting through all of them, but I will try to push in. Let me put a mic up closer, a second mic, so you guys can hear it. And you see the play right here. You just push that and you get a cycle of things that he says. So let's see. Or sounds. And like I said, it's not, I think maybe the one gripe I have is it's not the voice. It's not quite his voice. I know I'm nitpicking, but it still sounds cool, but it's not quite the voice. You got that. That's dope.
Energon tubes in production.
And you might think you're getting to like repeats because it plays some of the sounds in between, but they're still going.
Soundwave superior. Laserbeak report. Decepticons are awesome. Ravage. Eject. Operation capture. Alert, alert. Assistance required. All talk, no shock. Prepare for oblivion.
Okay, I'm gonna stop, but I don't know how many phrases he says, but there's a lot because there's a couple in there that I didn't even hear earlier, and I try to go through them all. I don't know. It sometimes cycles between the sound of him transforming, some of the gun sounds, but then it starts saying different stuff still, like when he says stuff. So you might think when you get to like the transforming sound again, you might think you done went over through the, you know, through the cycle, but you haven't. So that is, I think that's just a great touch. Besides this figure being freaking crazy, especially for a Lego. We see some of the up close. And so let's compare them to the other offerings. So we got Bumblebee here. You can see how he looks. I definitely think he's the worst Transformer that they made. Not the worst. He wasn't bad. He's all right, but a lot of stuff was I don't know, like his arms are super big and they don't hold up as good or as well as I would like. Then again, they had, I don't know, this came after Optimus. I was about to say they had the experience of doing 2 already. Let's bring in Optimus. And I don't know why his feet are like that. Optimus does have ankle tilt, ankle swivel. I don't know, maybe I was thinking he didn't. So that's not, I don't know, it's just impressive on, I think because of how Soundwave looks, he's just an impressive figure. But you see Optimus and what I was saying about his face, I didn't do the fan made. There's a couple fan makes that make it better looking, but I think Soundwave's face is on point. And Optimus' face isn't terrible. It's just, it does strike me when I look at it differently sometimes. It's not the greatest. And that's it. And for my Transformers people, I might as well. We got a Legends figure. That's Craftsman Toys Scattershot and Masterpiece Optimus. So you can see how big he is next to them. So he is definitely a big Lego figure. But let's get articulation, because this is also one of the most articulated Lego figures I've seen. So his head does the 360. He can go up. It's on a ball joint, so you can kind of make it go up. You can see how that ball joint is. And you can make it go up so you can look down. It does get out of whack after a certain angle, but if you want to, you know, make it look down a little bit, you can do that, and it doesn't look bad. Of course, you have the button that ejects. You have his arms on ratchets, soft ratchets, you know, Lego ratchets, but they still ratchets. Arms go out. Now that's I mean, I forgive it because it's a Lego figure, but it doesn't have much out, and you can go in, down like that too. Elbows are double jointed, so you get full elbows. You get a swivel right here and a swivel right here because of that dual ball joint. So you got the swivel here and you got swivel down here as well. Hands, they spin around. No in and out, of course. The thumb goes out like that, and the 3 fingers go out and up. So he only has 3 fingers. Lego stuff. No waist. I know y'all was like, yo, if this thing has a waist. Nah, no waist, but you can definitely, with the way you can move his legs, you can get a simulated waist. He has the swivel, or the thigh swivel. You can get it that, you know, he has to have that for transformation. Both sides. Move his arms up. He does the splits, do the transformation. They're on ratchets, but it is heavy, so they do fail, as I would. Jesus. So his knee gets 90 degrees, which is cool. I did the swivel, and then the feet. The feet can go down and they can go up, and they have rocker. And I like the rubber tires that they put on the bottom for grip. So he gets that. I think that's it for articulation. Just go through the build a little bit. This mechanism, the leg mechanism, if you can see when you're transforming it, you got to put this foot up in here. But there's a mechanism while I was building that. It was amazing, because just everything that they had to do to get this mechanism to flex and work. I said, man, they thought of a lot of stuff. I know they're experts engineering, but like even all of this, you'll see in a minute when I transform it. But yeah, that's great. Getting the back clean as I don't know what, with still the Lego DNA is there, I guess, for lack of a better term. You know, they always keep that Lego look, but it's smooth enough to not know it's Lego from the front. From the back, you can definitely tell, you know, like, yeah, this is Lego. But from the front, you're looking like, what kind of figure is this? Like, if you look at it, you might be like, what kind of figure is this? Because there's a couple pieces up here so the gun can stay, and that's pretty much it, facing forward. You know, you see things like this. If you're a Lego person, you know what that is. You see the stuff like right here. So you can tell, you know what that is. You see these, you know what that is if you're a Lego person. But if you're not, you might look at this and just be like, maybe somebody just made this or took, you know, build it out of plastic or something. Who knows? You wouldn't know. So let's transform this thing. It's not hard at all. I will be being delicate, of course. So you pull this down, spin his head around, flip it all the way around. So it's flat. You push that. This has a clip. It's on right there. You move this back. You can get the arms out, well, up. They have a little mechanism here that flips it up like that. So once you pull this back and it's like this, that's pretty much it. You can do the same thing over here. So from this angle, push that up. And basically this is like where the arms are gonna be. So they do just hang out in the back, but I mean, this is Lego, so I forgive them. So then the legs, move the legs like this. Move the legs like this. So once you get these feet straight, then you can push these feet up in here. And that's when you really see that mechanism working. And then there's a piece on the back here that you move and you pull up like that. Then you move this like this. And the good old classic transformation, move this up here. Now make sure these arms are out, because Once you put the legs up, then these arms are going to grab on with that same hook. The back of the legs have a hook on them. And you hook that, and that's how you keep this right. And then the last step for this side is you pull this up, make that flat. Same thing over here. Make sure the foot is flat if you use the rocker. Move that like that. Move this up here. This goes up here. You can move that at any time, but then you can secure it like that. Then move this little piece up here. And last but not least, you can bring the guns in. You can take this piece off, and then you can put this here. And then this you can put here to store. And this you can, oh, maybe that's what this is for. I just figured that, I think. So then you can store that there. And now you have it in tape deck mode. And it's just as great, if not greater. So you still got that. You still got the working sounds. Laserbeak is ejecting. He can come out. I didn't really show. He fits better because I think he's smaller. He's smaller this way. So Ravage can just fit in there with no problem. He rattles around. Laserbeak is a little wider, so it's a little bit more difficult. But yeah, there you go. You can even like store these on the back or whatever if you wanted to, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna have it in this mode too much, but it's cool that it can transform. So if you enjoyed this review, please leave me a like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I will appreciate it and get back in the next video.
Life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.